All right.
All right. Oh, good. Oops, sorry.
Microphone is fine.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Sharon. I'll be your MC once again this morning. And welcome to Makawao Honganji Eshi-ni Kakushin-ni BWA Memorial Service. Do we have any new friends that's joining us this morning? Would you like to introduce yourself? Okay, the ladies in the back row there. Would you like to introduce yourselves? Yes. Would you like to stand so we can see your pretty faces?
Thank you. I'm Mary Schultz, and I'm here visiting a yoga retreat in Makawao, and I always like following Buddhism.
Thank you.
So thank you.
Okay, and a friend there?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Lori Dvorak. I'm from Bend, Oregon, and I'm here with my friend Mary. And this is my first introduction to Buddhism, and I'm interested, and so I'm here to enjoy.
Thank you. Thank you. And other friends here?
Hi, I'm Leonard. This is my daughter Mary.
Hi, Mary.
I live in Kihei, and she's visiting the mainland, and we're here with some friends to check out the faith.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Would you like to introduce your friends?
Hi, I'm Julian, and I'm visiting from Washington, but I lived here before in Makawao, and it's nice to be here.
Thank you. And Mary?
I'm Sarah. I've been here one time before.
Okay, yeah, I see. All right, welcome, welcome. Any others? Okay, if you have any questions, please ask any of our fellow Sangha members. They know everything. Please rise if you're able, and let us begin the service by singing Vedanta Tisarana in Pali and English.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sammasambuddhassa. Homage to him, the exalted one, the enlightened one, the supremely awakened one. Buddha Saranam Gacchami, Dhammam Saranam Gacchami, Sangham Saranam Gacchami. I go to the Buddha for guidance. I go to the Dharma for guidance. I go to the Sangha for guidance.
Please be seated. We will now sing the Gatha Gospel with Anita, which will be led by Reverend Carey. The words will be shown on the screen. Chanting will be followed by quiet meditation.
Namo Amida Butsu. I recite Amida's name with deep joy and gratitude. I gush with Amida, trees and grasses and flowers, all grow in great compassion. This light shines throughout the world. I gush with Amida. Flowers bloom and flowers fall. trees sprout new flowers. This is the truth unchanging. Aiga-sho with Amida. Springtime brings the happy birds. Their songs all praise Amida. I join them in Nembutsu. Aiga-sho with Amida. When I call Amida's name, it's Amida calling me. Buddha's voice, my voice are one. Aiga-sho with Amida. When I'm lonely, I recite Namo Amida Butsu. Then I feel great compassion. Aiga-sho with Amida. Nembutsu in work and play. Every day with Amida. Every moment filled with light. Aiga-sho with Amida. Remember the golden chain. Kindness to all living things. I will follow this teaching. Aiga-sho with Amida. In the clear bright morning sun. In the fading light of day. In the darkness of the night. Aiga-sho with Amida. Namo Amida Butsu. I live in great compassion. This great power guides my life. Aiga-sho with Amida. Virtue of Amida's vow is shared equally by all, together attaining awakened mind. We are born in the land of Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo.
Let's sit together quietly for a few moments. So just relax and get comfortable. If you're able, sit forward in your seat and place both feet flat on the ground. Now sit up straight, align your head, neck, shoulders, and back in a straight line that goes down to the floor. Place your hands comfortably in your lap. Now close your eyes and just breathe. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. As you breathe in, you feel energy filling your body. And as you breathe out, any stress or worries in your mind just fade away. Just breathe. The sound of the gong will signal the end of our quiet meditation. Namanda, Vitsanamanda, Vitsanamanda,
We would like to encourage everyone to offer incense at this time. The offering of incense is an ancient rite of purification of mind and body in preparation to hear the Dharma teachings. Offertory or making donations and offerings to the temple is the practice of dana, the first of the 6 paramita perfections in the Mahayana Buddhism. Mahalo. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
No.
In the back, people said they can't hear me. The
Get closer to the
gentleman.
microphone.
Huh?
Get closer to the microphone.
Can you hear me now, Robert? Michael? Paul? Can hear? Cannot hear?
I can,
Oh, okay.
but maybe he can.
I wonder, how about back there? Ladies, we're good? Ladies back there? Okay. Uh-oh, I got lost again. Uh-oh. Sorry, huh? Okay, sorry guests, we have some technical difficulties. I'm not used to it. Oh,
Well, the Buddha said never rely on technology.
yes.
Okay, the Buddha never said that. Where are we? We were like after
Okay, all right, we're ready for the golden chain.
It's a slide showing golden chains.
Not yet.
That's you. Change the slide to full slides.
Okay. I have it on mine. All right, you ready? Where does it want to go? Okay. Nope. Nope.
Okay, I'll run it from the back.
Okay, thank you. I think we all know it.
We should by now. Here.
Sorry, Reverend Wayne, this is not the usual.
Actually, Glenn, this is the usual.
Okay. All right, but it's not showing on mine.
Or you showing? Look on the big screen.
Okay, I can't.
But maybe, is Mimi running it?
Mimi, are you running it? Because I can't run it here.
Yeah, something's wrong.
Okay, let us begin. I am a link in Amida Buddha's golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I must keep my link bright and strong. I will try to be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself. I will try to think pure, beautiful thoughts, to say pure, beautiful words, and to do pure, beautiful deeds. Knowing that what I do now depends not only on my happiness or on my happiness, but also that of others. May everything in the Buddha's golden chain of love be bright and strong, and may we all attain perfect peace. Right. Is it children's story time?
Probably.
Well, my screen it says children's story time. With Green Snoopy, Kermit the Missing Frog, or the Gosho. Kermit the Gosho Frog, and Bartley the dog, and Lucy the ladybug. The love of his life. The mangoes.
Maybe. No, even I can't do it without looking at the iPad. Okay, so you're seeing this. It's the wrong thing. There we go.
Aloha, kakahiaka. Oops. Sensei, need to turn the microphone on. Yeehaw! Aloha, kakahiaka. Ohio gozaimasu. It's me, Baby Dot. Mahalo for joining us here in historic Makawao town, in the beautiful island of Maui, the great state of Hawaii. And this here is my mommy, Lucy the ladybug. Good morning, everyone. And my daddy, Bartley the dog. Hey, how you guys doing this morning?
Sorry, it's harder than it looks.
Oh boy, do we have a great story for you today. Yes, that's right, Sensei. That's right, Dot. It's one of Sensei's favorite stories. That's why he's always reading it every time. No, actually it was lazy. Couldn't have new slides to make.
Okay, well, thanks a lot, Berkeley. Okay, so anyway, here we go. Today's story is Too Many Mangoes, a story about sharing, written by Tammy Paikai and illustrated by Don Robinson. Kama and his sister, Nani, love to climb the giant mango tree when they visit their grandpa's house. Kama can climb up high. He helps Nani find a special branch to sit on. Grandpa comes outside and asks Kama to pick some mangoes. Kama reaches up and tugs on mangoes one by one, and then passes them to Nani, and she passes them to Grandpa. There are big ones, small ones, ripe ones, green ones, and some have brown spots on them. Grandpa looks over the huge pile of mangoes. He says, "There are too many mangoes for our little family. Take some down the road and share them with our neighbors." So Kama and Nani load the mangoes into a little red wagon and pull it down the road to the first house. "Aloha, Auntie Pua. Grandpa said to give some mangoes to you," Nani exclaims. "Mahalo, children. These mangoes will make delicious mango bread," says Auntie Pua. "These spotty ones are perfect. Here are some banana macadamia nut muffins I baked this morning. Mahalo for sharing," says Auntie Pua. They see their friends at the next house. Kama and Nani sing, "Aloha, Momi and Kawai. Grandpa has too many mangoes." "Ooh, I love to eat fresh, ripe mangoes," said Momi. They both take a few golden yellow ones and say, "Mahalo for the mangoes. Here are some papayas for your family." Kama and Nani visit the next neighbor. "Aloha, Mr. Wong. Grandpa has some mangoes for you today," Kama says. He takes a few green mangoes and says, "Green mango with shoyu, vinegar, and chili pepper water is the best." Mrs. Wong made some guava jam. Here is a jar for you. Each neighbor they visit gives them something in return. Lonnie likes pickled mango. She takes the half-ripe mangoes and gives Kama some bananas. Liko prefers to sprinkle lihing powder on her mango. The lihing flavor makes the mango sweet and sour. She gives Nani a beautiful orchid plant from her yard. They finally went to every house on the block and realized, although the mangoes were gone, their wagon was completely full. Grandpa sees Kama and Nani returning home. Nani excitedly tells Grandpa, "We were able to share all of our mangoes." And Kama shows Grandpa all of their mahalo gifts from the neighbors. Nani puts the orchid plant on the table. Kama gives each of them a muffin with guava jam on it. And Grandpa combines the bananas, papayas, and mangoes together to make a fresh fruit salad. Nani picks up a big slice of mango. She smiles and says, "We're lucky. Grandpa has too many mangoes." The end. And that was the story, Too Many Mangoes, a story about sharing. It was written by Tammy Paikai and illustrated by Don Robinson. Wasn't that a great story? Yes. Hey Floyd, what part did you like? Yeah, I like that part too. Okay, well we have a special guest speaker today, so we're not going to talk too much. Oh really? Come on, I have all kinds of jokes written ready to go. Oh no you didn't. Okay, so remember kids, be good.
But not too much.
But not too much! Okay. One of these I'll explain why I find this story so amusing. And now we're going to have a Dharma talk for the rest of us. and Reverend Carey will introduce our guest speaker. Well, that's me. So I'm absolutely delighted to introduce to you our guest speaker for this morning, Reverend Blaine Nakasone Slakata. So Reverend Blaine was born in and he grew up in Honolulu, so he's a local boy. He's a graduate of the Pacific Buddhist Academy, class of 2014. He is a graduate of the University of Hawaii at Hilo, and class of 2018, with dual degrees as a BA in Japanese Studies and a BA in Philosophy. Then he is a graduate of Chuo Bukkyo Gakuin Seminary, the main seminary for the Honganji in Kyoto. He's class of 2021. He completed both the first year program, the Honka program, the curriculum, and the second year curriculum, the Kenkyuka curriculum. Just as a note, I only completed the first year. So he knows more about it. So ask him really difficult questions. Also, he is a graduate class, or he received a master's degree in Shinshu Studies. So he's a Honganji, he's a Jodo Shinshu specialist, master's in 2023. Reverend Blaine loves sharing Okinawa culture, so you could talk to him about Okinawan stuff. He plays the sanshin, the koto, traditional dance, and was it Kumi Udui, which is a musical theater of Okinawa. Reverend Blaine is trilingual, speaks English, Japanese, and Pidgin. He is the youngest Kaikyoshi minister. He's the youngest fully ordained and fully qualified minister. He's also our youngest local minister. A lot of the local ministers are older. Okay, we're second career. So with that as the introduction, please welcome Reverend Blaine Nakasone Slakata. Reverend Blaine. And you can use any of the puppets you like. There's your slides. And if you just tap the screen, it's supposed to advance.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, I'm not 6 feet like Carrie so. And I came up here earlier. Well, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I have the same issue. I don't know if people can hear me or not. So I came up here earlier to check, and there's a significant height difference between Johanna Sensei and I, especially because these are almost my eye level. But let us begin by putting our hands together in Gassho as I read our opening quote for today. For all people, men and women of high status, station and low, saying the name of Amida is such as that whether one is walking, standing, sitting, or reclining is of no concern, and time, place, and condition are not restricted. Namo Amida. Namo Amida. Okay, well, first of all, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
And I would like to first off start by thanking Reverend Kerry Kiyohara, his wife Mimi. I just got scolded by Mimi this morning because I was talking to her in Japanese and I said, Mimi-san. And she says, I'm not Mimi-san, I'm just a Mimi. So but anyway, so thank you to Mimi. And of course, for all of you for having me here today, for Ms. Carol, for inviting me to be a guest speaker. And yesterday when she picked me up from the airport, I said, oh, is this a BWA sponsored service? She said, oh yes, it is. And I said, don't women normally talk at this on this day for Eshi-ni and Kakushin-ni? She said, oh yeah, but it's okay, no matter. okay. But it's always a good excuse to get away from, I shouldn't say get away from the own temple, but you know, to go experience and share the Dharma, to rejoice in the Dharma with other Sangha members across our state. But anyway, my quote that I chose for this morning comes from Hymns of the Pure Land Masters, which is written by Shinran Shonin, our founder, who's behind of me. And when I read this wasan, this is a wasan or a hymn that I think about often. And it reminds me, at least, that no matter who we are at all times, you know, should rejoice in the Nembutsu. for the teachings that we have received, for it's something that the Nenbutsu, Namu Amida Butsu, we can say any time of day, or any time that we feel, we express gratitude, or in times of suffering, in times of happiness and joy. When I suddenly got louder to myself. But and seeing that we are gathered here today to express our gratitude and appreciation to Eshi-ni and Kakushin-ni, I guess we should start by either reminding ourselves, or for those of us new to the temple, learning about just a little bit of who Eshi-ni and Kakushin-ni was. And whether I'm at Hilobetsuin on the Big Island, or talking at other temples, and here is going to be no different. I like to test everybody, and there is obviously a wrong answer, but if you get that right or wrong, Reverend Carrie is sitting over there, so no pressure. But can anybody tell me who is Eshi-ni and who is Kakushin-ni? Which picture is which? And I will say, I know the answer because I made these slides. But if you told me, if you asked me before last night, or before I wrote my talk, I don't think I could point out which one is which. So, does anybody want to take a stab? How do you say? A stab at who is who? So there's one wearing a blue hood and one wearing a purple hood. So I hear people whispering, please don't be shy, I don't bite. And you guys are sitting in the back, so.
Call on me, I know.
Okay, yeah, I don't call on the reverend, so sorry. Does anybody want to take a guess? Eshi-ni is wearing what color? Purple. Interesting. And so that means Kakushin-ni is wearing blue. So let's see. So Eshi-ni is actually the one wearing the blue hood, and Kakushin-ni is wearing purple. So thank you for getting it wrong. But that's why when I prepared the slides, and when we have the pictures up here in the altar, it's Eshi-ni and then Kakushin-ni. So my slides technically is backwards. I didn't do it to throw you off. I did it because I like them looking at each other and not looking away from each other. But first of all, who was Eshi-ni, right? Does anybody know? You all should know. His wife, right? So his wife being Shinran Shonen's wife, right? And then who was Kakushin-ni?
Daughter.
The daughter. And does anybody know how much kids Shinran Shonen and Lady Eshi-ni had in total?
Many.
Many? 5, okay. Many is not a number. I can't say many. So they had 6 children altogether, and their youngest daughter, is Lady Kakushin-ni. Okay. And so I want to just briefly look at why we are acknowledging Eshi-ni and Kakushin-ni today. And this is going to be sort of a history talk, so a lot of these histories isn't exactly always correct, and depending on who you ask, you might get a different answer. But and so if I'm wrong, Reverend Carey might look at me, and we might have a discussion later, but that's okay. So anyway, we can estimate that Shinran Shonen, our founder, and Lady Eshi-ni were married around 1210, and that in their time together, they had a total of 6 children, as I mentioned, and Shinran Shonen was exiled to Echigo, which is present-day Niigata Prefecture. And even while being exiled for certain reasons, that never stopped Shinran Shonen from sharing the teachings, right? And so this is when the Nenbutsu, the teachings of Namu Amida Butsu, thrived in the Kanto area, which is the eastern half of Japan, including Tokyo. And, but then I thought, if Shinran Shonen is out sharing the teachings with common people, with people like you and me, who's at home, right? Who's at home watching 6 children? That was Lady Eshi-ni. And while Shinran Shonin was going about sharing the teachings, whether people were coming to their place or whether he was out sharing the teachings with farmers as they worked the fields, Lady Eshi-ni was at home. Well, we can assume that she was at home taking care of the kids and taking care of everything. And, as we can say, common days, I don't know as much as now, but, they say that the man is the breadwinner and the lady is at home in the kitchen cooking and caring for the children in the house. And, similarly, that's kind of the relationship that we can, presume that Shinran Shonin and Lady Eshi-ni had. But, it was Eshi-ni that it was a deep act of entrusting in the teachings that this is a way of supporting her husband, supporting Shinran Shonin, to encourage him to share these great teachings, right? That tells us that all beings, no matter who we are, man or woman, are accepted, are always in the embrace of Amida Buddha. And in preparation for today, so this is a slide of him going to Echigo. But in preparation for today, I found this brief brochure called Eshi-ni and Kakushin-ni, detailing Shinran Shonin's wife's life and the formation of the Honganji. Written by Reverend C. Yokai Himaka of the Southern Alameda County Buddhist Churches of the Buddhist Churches of America. And in this text, it says that because of Eshi-ni's father, who was a high-ranking samurai in the Echigo area, this present-day Niigata area, that Shinran Shonin was able to escape, essentially death, that other followers, sadly had that penalty, that he was able to go to Echigo, to this Niigata area, because of Eshi-ni. But Eshi-ni had to worry about the land that they were living on, the farms that they had, the servants that they had working on the land, and their families and their own children. Right? So this was especially hard because this was a time of Japan having a famine and there was disease rampant. So I'm sure it wasn't an easy task. Which is why Reverend Himaka states that this is likely the reason why, because of all of these duties that she had to take care of in Niigata or Echigo, that she couldn't return to Kyoto with Shinran Shonin, which happened around in the year 1254. And this again shows her deep heart of entrusting, because she wrote to her daughter, her youngest daughter, Kakushin-ni, in her last years of life that, quote, "I may be going to the pure land of bliss at any moment. In the land of bliss, we will be able to see everything clearly. So I hope that you too shall live the life of the Nembutsu and come to join me there," end quote. And her passing in 1268. And before her passing, 9 years, after 1254, for 9 years, Lady Kakushin-ni, returned to Kyoto with her father, Shinran Shonin, and that is where they resided until Shinran Shonin's passing in 1263. And it is, if you ask certain scholars, some say Kakushin-ni was just a young child. Some others put her at the age of 30, but either way, to suddenly take care of your aging father, who at that time was 80, around his 80s, and such a prominent figure sharing these Nembutsu teachings, that Kiyohara Sensei and I had a discussion last night that essentially Kakushin-ni did not follow what her father wanted, what Shinran Shonin wanted, right? That after his passing in 1263, that she cared for his ashes, she cared for the teachings, in that the people that he was sharing the teachings with in his time in Niigata, and in that whole Kanto eastern region of Japan, gave money to build what we have today as Otani Honbyo, as we say in Japanese, or the Otani Mausoleum that we have in Kyoto, Japan. And it was later decided that her descendants would take care there's a whole background behind this mausoleum, but it was later decided that her descendants would oversee the care of this temple, of this mausoleum. And because of that, her descendants later on put forth a system that we get the Honganji today, and that we get our Gomonshu today, which is where our 24 on your right-hand side, on this wall, we have our 24th Gomonshu and our 25th Gomonshu. That's where that lineage starts from. And, so when we talk about Lady Eshi-ni and Lady Kakushin-ni, I think of them as two integral people to the life caring of Shinran Shonin, to allow him to share the teachings of the Nembutsu, that we are able to enjoy it today. But also, for after his passing, allowing the teachings to flourish underneath a systematic, underneath a system, creating the Honganji. And thinking about all of these two amazing ladies, I can't help to think about in my own life, not to compare my life to that of Shinran Shonin, because I do tell people, if you look at the life of Shinran Shonin, this is a quick tangent. At the age of 29, Shinran Shonin, left his practices on Mount Hiei and found the Nembutsu teachings. And I don't like to age myself, but I'm aging myself. This year, I'm going to be 29. So that means I'm so young. But that means 29, I better go out and find some teachings. So I tell people I might have to leave the Honganji this year and go find a teaching. But anyway, so I think about, in my own life, the ladies that have supported me thus far. And of course, the first person that I think about is my own mother, and Mother's Day is coming around in a couple weeks. And so this is a picture of me and my mother. But I am the youngest of 4 siblings. I am the only boy. And so people often say, oh, your sisters must care for you a lot, and da 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 da. But they don't know the reality of it. I can show you a few scars that I have that's from my sisters. And also, it's streaming today, so hopefully my mother isn't watching. Yeah, she might be. And hopefully my sisters aren't hearing it, because if so, I might get a call after this. But so people say, oh, you're the youngest, your mother must take care of you a lot, and your sisters must care for you, but they're a headache to this day. But my mother has been somebody who has supported me throughout my whole life, obviously, and when I decided to become a minister, there were certain hesitations, but that didn't stop her from supporting me. And then when I said I'm going to Japan, she didn't stop me. She actually thought I was never going to come back to Hawaii. And then I said, after 2 years, I'm going to go to get my master's. Again, that didn't stop my mom. She continued to support me. She continued to help me whatever I needed. I would call her sometimes, Mom, I need this much money in my bank account because I have to pay for something. She said, what? Why didn't you tell me earlier? Or things like that. But then, luckily enough, through the great compassion of my mother, she forwarded me those money, and then, of course, she would say, now where's the check, because you gotta send it over. But again, she never hesitated to support me in any way. And even now, as I'm a minister and I'm away from Oahu, well, actually, backtracking a little, I first served at Hawaii Betsuin on Oahu. And when I first returned to Hawaii, immediately my family, my mother, my sister, my father sometimes, my grandma, my auntie, they would come to the temple. Normally there aren't temple goers, but once I started working at Hawaii Betsuin, they came every time I talked without fail. And they brought refreshments, and soon when we had temple cleanup or other activities, they would be there, they would be helping. So much so that while I was there, the BWA was convinced that my mother and my sister should join BWA. And they kept pestering, I shouldn't say pestering, but kept trying to, encouraging is a good word. Encouraging my parents to join them. And so, so this is a picture, it's kind of hard to see a little bit, but the first row of people is my 3 sisters and myself and my mother. The back people is okay, my father and But so, eventually my mother and my sister joined BWA at Hawaii Betsuin. And, even now that I'm at Hilo Betsuin on the Big Island, they still are active in the BWA. Just 2-3 weeks ago, they helped with their garage sale. My mother was at the temple the whole week before, preparing, pricing, organizing, and they were on the day of helping selling and stuff like that. So, things like that, even though I'm not there, in that way, they're still supporting what I do, this, ministry, the Honganji. And also, my sisters, while they do give me a headache most days, without fail, they're always there for me. I guess being the youngest, they feel like they have to bully me. But, in the end, when I ask for something, they're there. When I ask them for help, when I say the temple has this, they're there to help. But then also, being a minister, that means I work with the BWA at my own temple and BWAs across the island. And I think about how much BWA, the Buddhist Women's Association, does for every single temple, for our whole organization. And while of course, traditionally temple presidents were men, and the Honganji, has a lot of male figures spearheading many things. But on the backside of that, there's all these women working around in the kitchen, right? We can't do anything if we're not fed, if we don't have the energy to do so. Also, BWA gives a lot of monetary funds to the temple, right? And in thinking about Lady Eshi-ni and Lady Kakushin-ni and all that they do, I can't help but to think how much the ladies of the Honganji do to, they're like the backbone of the temple, of every temple. And, I thought about the saying that behind every great man, there's a great woman or a greater woman, right? And behind Shinran Shonin, there was Lady Eshi-ni, right, supporting him, letting him run off, do whatever he wanted to do. And then there was Lady Kakushin-ni, taking care of him in his later years of life. And that eventually created what we have here today, the Honganji. And, even for our Honganjis here in Hawaii, while there was a lot of men who did a lot of great things for the Honganji, a lot of them had a lot of wives that did a lot for the temple, that sacrificed a lot for the temple. Right? Even talking with Reverend Kiyohara last night, and how much Mimi, not Mimi-san, I was almost about to say Mimi-san, Mimi does, for Makawao Honganji, right? Working so hard as a regular job, but also giving her time, her dedication to the Honganji, volunteering her time. And, because of Lady Eshi-ni, or because of all of these ladies, right? Whether it be my mother and my sisters, or the ladies of the Honganji, the BWA, it allows me to do ministry. It allows me, while they take care of the temple, it allows me to go out and share the teachings of the Nembutsu with others. Right? And it is because of Lady Eshi-ni and Kakushin-ni and the people who support me that I'm able to rejoice in the Nembutsu, that I'm able to say Namo Amida Butsu freely. Which again brings me back to the opening quote that reads, "For all people, men and women of high station and low, saying the name of Amida is such as that, whether one is walking, standing, sitting, or reclining is of no concern, and time, place, and conditions are not restricted." That this hymn by Shinran Shonin is a reminder to me that everyone is the same, that there's no difference between you and I, and that because of causes and conditions, example being the great efforts of Lady Eshi-ni and Kakushin-ni, that I'm able to encounter the teachings of Namo Amida Butsu, of the Nembutsu. That alone, brings a great sense of gratitude to me, and I say Namo Amida Butsu. But these teachings that have thrived, that have endured, persevered, and maybe some say survived throughout the years, it has come a long way, over 800 years. Just to let you know that for who you are at all times, no matter where you are, who you are embraced in the boundless wisdom and compassion of Amida Buddha. And this means that the Nembutsu is always with you, that you're able to say Namo Amida Butsu, no matter where you are, who you are, wherever you are, whenever you may feel. That Namo Amida Butsu is there, it is here, and it is you. And saying the Nembutsu every moment of our lives in gratitude, of course to that of Amida Buddha, but also to all those who made it possible, specifically today, Lady Eshi-ni and Kakushin-ni, in showing our gratitude and appreciation. And so, as an expression of deep gratitude for all that these remarkable women have done for the benefit of beings like us 800 years later, to be able to hear these teachings, let us put our hands together in Gassho as we recite the name Namo Amida Butsu in gratitude. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you.
Okay, we need that.
And this last slide is of me and my mother. It's okay. But there's a picture of me in the temple with my mother, and I will say I wasn't paying attention to the Dharma talk at that time. But that's a secret between you and I and everybody listening on this stream right now. Yeah, that second picture.
Thank you, Reverend Blaine, for your Dharma message this morning and your continued success in being a minister. Thank you. Let us all chant this Metta Sutta, the Loving Kindness Sutra.
May all beings be happy and well. May all our difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May I be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to me. May I live in peace and harmony. May my family be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May my friends be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May my teachers be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May strangers be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May my enemies be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May all beings be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony.
Okay, we'll now have the gratitude meditation led by Reverend Carey.
So once again, let's sit together quietly for a few moments. So just relax and get comfortable. If you're able, sit forward in your seat, place both feet flat on the ground. Sit up straight, align your head, neck, shoulders, and back in a straight line that goes down to the floor. Place your hands comfortably in the middle. Now close your eyes halfway so that you're looking both outwardly and inwardly. And just breathe. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. As you breathe in, think of something for which you are grateful. And as you breathe out, just say mahalo. Just say thank you, thank you, thank you. Just breathe. The sound of the gong will signal the end of our quiet meditation.
Thank you. Okay, please rise if you're able, and let's sing on the good song, the Hymn of Gratitude, which is written by Eshi-ni. Please remain standing for the Nembutsu.
Happily then, hating none while in the midst of those who hate. Let us dwell free from hate while among those who hate. The wisdom of Gautama Buddha, which you can find in the Dhamma.
Please be seated. And once again, thank you, Reverend Blaine, for joining us to today's service, and welcome also to our new friends this morning. Any announcements?
Yep, we'll just do some real quick. Okay, so next week, I'm not here. You can applaud me. I'm taking a leave of absence. Thank you very much for allowing me to do that. After May 11th, we'll have the Dharma family service here at Makawao. May 18th is a special occasion. It'll be Maui Fuji Matsuri. So all of the Honganji temples on Maui will be gathering at the Wailuku Honganji for a special service and some activities. And then the final Sunday will be a regular Dharma family service. We do have to figure out like birthdays in Dharma school and that sort of stuff, but we'll figure it out. In June, just to line it up, I think this is right, so if there's any mistakes, please give me a yell. June 1st, baccalaureate service, so we'll be recognizing our graduates. Then we have Dharma family service on the 8th and the 15th. And those are actually in the midst of the garage sale preparation. Because on June 22nd, Sunday, we have no service because we have the garage sale. And then just make a note, Saturday, June 28th, oops, Makawao spelled wrong, Makawao Town, the 4th of July parade. It's Makawao. And we'll be having, like last year, we have a PA booth set up, so we're working with the town committee, so thanks to Jean for heading that up. We'll be parking cars on the property. And then the final Sunday, we'll have Dharma family service again as well. And that's just to make the note that the summer garage sale is June 21 and 22. And the preparation starts, I think it's what, 2 weeks ahead of time? Something like that? Or did you want to talk about it? Yeah. Okay.
Are you done?
I was just going to say garage sale, we need help. And then the Bon Dance, July 22nd, 25 and 26, sorry. And just to make a comment on that, who are these little people in this picture?
Oh my!
Right, they're not this size anymore.
No.
Yeah.
Wow.
So anyway, let's go back to the garage sale. There you go.
Thank you. Thank you. We have a sign up for Fuji Matsuri, and it's in the back. Diane has it in her hand, so please sign up if you wish to attend, just to give us a count of how many people will be.
Can I add to your announcement?
It's on May 18th.
May 18th, it starts at 9 at Wailuku Honganji. Okay. And we need to sign up because we need to know Wailuku needs to know how much food to prepare. The cook or chef from Maui Matsu restaurant is going to be doing the cooking. So
Didn't know that.
Yeah, so
that's
they want
something to go to.
Can I say one more thing about Fuji Matsuri? For Fuji Matsuri, this is going to be the 3rd annual cornhole competition. Okay, the cornhole game is going to be played by the adults. The kids have their own games. Now, the cornhole equipment is owned by Makawao, and we provide the equipment, but we have never won the competition. So today, the cornhole is up there for you to practice. Because this is going to be a 3rd year, so at least we need to win. But anyway, Iwa, is Iwa here? Yeah. Iwa, okay. Iwa's the ringer. She's good. And Jean also. We need people who can toss the bag and put it in the hole. Okay? So anyway, you can practice up there, and then next week, we won't take the cornhole equipment, and we provide the equipment down to Wailuku until late. So everyone has a chance to practice. Okay, thank you. This will be after the social
Great. So going back to the cornhole thing, if you get your what is that bag into the hole, you get what, 3 points?
Something like that.
Something like that. And if you the bag falls on the board itself, it's 1 point. At least, if you can try to get 1 point, that's better than no points, right? Okay, another thing that's coming up is bingo. We're going to be doing bingo at Halimakua, Kahului, and it will be on May
25th. But what we're asking for, if you have anything new that you would like to give or donate for the bingo game, we would really appreciate it. And you can drop it off in the office and put there for bingo prizes. And, you know, the residents at Halimakua Kahului, they get so excited to see Makawao Honganji come because we always have very nice things for them. T-shirts, some of the sewing students make blankets, lap blankets and that kinds of things. But they appreciate anything, even stuffed animals. You know, they love those things. So if you have things to donate in that way, we would appreciate it. And then, like Sensei had said, our summer bazaar is coming up. It's on the 21st of June and the 22nd of June. However, like 2 weeks before, actually the first week in June, we set up the social home. The second week and third week, we clean, we take out, we discard, we wash with donations that are given to us. And when you pass the garage, you will see all kinds of bags of things in there that people have donated. So if you have things that you feel like people would enjoy wearing, you know, or dishes, or what toys, bags, purses, anything that we can sell, we will sell. And we display them very nicely. If you've never been to our garage sale, you need to come because I think we have the best garage sale on Maui. The best. You cannot find it anywhere else. So please join us, and if you want to come and help, let us know because we'll put you to work. Okay, thank you. Yes, Reverend Blaine, we need for you to come, okay?
Okay, I'll pay for my plane for I'll be here.
Okay, we all heard that? Yeah. Okay, if you can, please come. We'd like to invite you. Thank you. Come to work.
I guess there's nothing on here. To our new friends, do you know what Fujimatsuri is? Okay, all right. Fujimatsuri is the birthday of Shinran Shonin. That's our founder of the Jodo Shinshu. Okay, so just a tidbit on that. Any other announcements? Nope. Okay, well, go and have some refreshments in the social hall and let's socialize together. And if you have any questions for Reverend Blaine, I think he'll be no questions. You don't want any questions. No questions, you're off limit. The job is over. Okay, well anyway, thank you very much for joining us this morning. Good. I can maybe bring this bag to you and say, what is that?